What up, Lulu? What's going on, y'all? What's good? We not good. Not us. What's going on, y'all? I'm trying to let a few more people get in here, and we're gonna chop it up about that debacle. Oh, and Brandon, you said something that I said last year. What? When Shea was playing horrible, I said it. What's going to be the excuse next year when Dylan and Joe are going through and are having certain growing pains from never being the real starter? So, Joe, growing pains are expected. We talked about this last week, but we ran for 13 yards against Indiana, y'all. Come against Indiana, 13 yards. When Penn State's quarterback ran for 100 yards against them. That was mostly on scrambles and stuff, and that's Joe has to learn to when to get those yards though with his legs. Like sometimes, even if you have a clean pocket, sometimes nobody is open, and you just got to go get the yards with your legs. Appreciate the $2 super chat, Rip. He says, "Amen. Get Harbaugh out of here. Keep up the lives." Oh, we doing lives every week. We're doing lives every week for sure. And with us not playing Wisconsin, which I don't think we're going to play them. I don't think the game has been canceled yet, but we need this week off. we need this week off. Kentrell Merity says new DBs, more Hennings and CJ. I'd like to see more Henning and CJ, but the DBs are what they're gonna be. The problem isn't the deep. I mean, they're part of the problem, but the problem is Don Brown. The problem is his scheme. He refuses to give those corners help. Just like late in the game. Late in the game, Indiana, they played man. They played some man, but they had the safeties over the top. You can play man, just have the safeties over the top, giving your corners help. Like I would hate to play him. Like honestly, like I'd hate to be some of the players on this team right now, because it's just not fair to the situations that he puts them in. Holy Reaver, I'm not doing good. I'm not doing good thinking about this stuff. And the fact that we ran for 13 yards, like that was the big number for me that said we have serious problems. We ran for 13 yards against Indiana. And I know Joe had 50 yards last week. Let's see what he had. Let's see what we ran for last week, though. Because running the ball is big. You need some type of running game. Let's see. So we probably had 100 and some yards. Last week we probably had about 140 yards. But Joe had 59. But it's like are we steadily getting worse at the running game or what? Vincent Gray is trash. Vincent Gray is, honestly, he seems like he regressed. It's like players, and this goes into the coaching staff. Players, if you've been in the system, you've been in the weight room, you got your eating right, you've been on the college campus for some years. Now every year you should get better. Vincent Gray looked better than this last year. Vincent Gray started some games last year and didn't look close to being this bad. So he's regressed. And I don't. You can either blame that on the coaches, blame it on Gray. I mean, all of them. It's all of them. NHL Willie, just put 2 safeties over the top. It's so simple. Why doesn't he understand that? Like, I don't understand how this man don't understand that your corners aren't good enough to be in man coverage, bro. And this is what I hate, and I've said this a couple times already. We've got Dax Hill, a dude that runs a 4-3 that can cover so much ground at safety, and yet you have him playing corner pretty much. That don't really help us when our corners are so bad on the outside that other teams are going at them nonstop. But yet you have Dax, a safety that can make plays over the top, playing slot corner. It just don't make sense. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, you got this dude that can play over the top and do some things playing slot corner. When your outside corners need help. What are you doing? Come on, man. Appreciate the super chat, y'all. 40 people in here. Hit the like button, y'all. Likes are free. Likes are free, y'all. Come on, hit the like. Hit the like. Likes are free. Don't be stingy with the likes. Then we had what's his name? Brad Hawkins. Oh Lord. That man, Penix threw up a punt. That was a punt, y'all. That was just like what was the game we used to play in middle school? And we used to play in middle school and elementary, 500. When you got one quarterback and everybody's in a group and he yells out 100 and he just throws it up in the air and whoever has the best ball skills gets it and you're trying to see who can get 500. One of those passes and this man overplays it. Like, come on, Dak's sitting there like, okay, I'm about to make a play. That play right there is gonna sum up our season. That right there is gonna sum up our season. You got one player ready, got in the right position to make the play. Then we got another player, bonehead, I done overplayed it, still in his hands. He's like, if he would have just made that pick, I might not have, like, okay, you ran up on it too much, but at least you made the play. But you knock it away where Dax can't even make the play. I never liked Brad Hawkins at safety. And now that we think about it, when he got in the game 2 years ago against Notre Dame, he did the same type of stuff. Overplaying, in position, not making the play. He had another one, brick right off his hands. Come on, just make a play. Like, catch the ball. And if they can't get interceptions like that, then we know why Joe probably looks so good at practice, because they can't intercept none of the balls. I mean, it's obvious it's hard to intercept one of his passes, but our defenders, the way they play, they ain't got a chance of intercepting his balls. They ain't got a chance of intercepting Joe's passes in practice. They can't catch. Like, them dudes can't, like, Green can't catch. and Brad Hawkins, like it's like they fighting the ball. Two clean picks, y'all. And that's gonna sum up our season for real. What up, Paul Newland? Yeah, Nick Sheridan and Mike Hart they are doing good in Indiana. Why aren't they on our staff? Like, why isn't Mike Hart our running back coach? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But Paul Newland says, with this COVID situation, Michigan is not going to spend any money whatsoever to get a new coach. Also, they will have to pay off Harbaugh a lot of money. Isn't Harbaugh's contract up this year? What I've seen, y'all, is if they fire him before January, then they have to pay him like some extra money or something. So after for Harbaugh, we're gonna have to wait till after the season for sure. But Don Brown, he got to. You should let him go now. Like it just ain't no excuse for that. Like the defense is so bad right now. It's kind of mind-boggling how bad they are. Because this is my thing. You can't stop teams. You can't stop teams when they know they're going to run, we know they're going to run, and you still can't stop them. That just tells you your defense got problems. We haven't had a sack since the first game. Haven't had a sack since the first game. And I don't want to hear, oh, because Aiden got hurt this game. No, we still got Queedy, and we're blitzing all game. We're blitzing all game, so that ain't no excuse. The problem is teams know what we're going to do, so they're prepared for it. You see how that works? When you know what a team does and have done for years, and it's a simplistic scheme. It's simplistic. So now the book is out. Now teams that have talent, they got the quarterback they want. They like, okay, we about to destroy you this time. We got you. We missed you a couple other times. Now we locked on, loaded, and it's over for you this year. That's all that's happening. Don Brown should have been fired 2 seasons ago. And now everybody else knows his playbook inside and out, and he don't have the corners that can play that stuff, and he's getting what he deserves. And we're having to accept it because we're fans. But this dude should have been fired, and that goes on to Harbaugh. You should have been fired him. No defense makes mistakes. The D-line just jumping. Like after that happens twice, like you got problems. You got problems because as a defensive lineman, all you have to do is watch the ball. Dudes trying to come on the blitz, trying to get in their blitz stance, trying to get ready. You can jump that snap as hard as you want to. Y'all ain't getting there. They ain't getting there. They can jump this snap as hard as they want to. They ain't getting there. It's unbelievable. Hassan says Harbaugh is destroying his legacy at Michigan. He was one of our greatest quarterbacks ever. He honestly is. Like he gave Don Brown too much control over the defense. He gave him too much control, and he should have fired him. And what lets me know he trusts him too much and he has too much respect for him is I never see him yell at him. I never see him look like he's mad and I'm disgusted with you. I'm disgusted with what you've done with my defense. And you just don't see it from Harbaugh. And that's a problem. And we talked about this last week. You, Saban, and great coaches, you ain't finna get away with having garbage. You represent me. You represent this. you ain't finna be pulling that garbage out there. I'm finna let you have it, bro. I'm finna let you have it because you putting garbage product on the field. You putting garbage product out there. A Michigan defense. It ain't no excuse. You want to run the 3-3-5. You can't do it. You can't do that. To do that, you got to have some studs. To run a 3-3-5 scheme in a Power 5 conference, you need OSU talent, Clemson talent, Alabama talent, Georgia talent, maybe Notre Dame talent. Maybe. I don't know. Notre Dame be having some dogs too. We kicked their butt last year, but they had a lot of young players. But Notre Dame be having some big freak of nature type dudes like everywhere. You look at their roster, they got a lot of 6'2", 200-pound defenders, 6'4", like huge dudes. They're not putting them 6-foot safeties out there, 6 foot, 200-pound safeties out there. No, they putting some real hitters and some dudes that you like, oh, yeah, they got them type. But to run that 3-3-5, you can't do it with them. You can't do it with the guys we got. You just can't do it. That's just dumb, trying to run a 3-3-5. Did you not learn from Rich Rod? Somehow Don Brown has channeled his inner Rich Rodriguez. Like he's trying to take us back some years. Anybody that thinks they can get away with that, appreciate the $5 super chat, Lulu. Anybody that thinks that they can get away with that has a problem, and you can't coach here. You trying to get away with that? You know, I thought you were a good hire. Sorry, you have to go. We don't do that here. We play big time power football in the Big Ten. You can't run no 3-3-5. I don't even care if you do it for a couple plays. Don't do that again. So the days of us with huge D tackles, huge NFL D tackles. What's happening? We have Carlo Kemp, and I've heard that on the campus, in the program, it's a lot of players that kiss butt, and that's how they end up starting. Favoritism, all that type of stuff. And so there's no way Carlo Kemp should be starting at defensive tackle for us. Like, the only way for him to be starting at D tackle for us, it should be injuries. Like, okay, we had to do this. But something isn't right, y'all, because just like last year, we had young dudes, Mozzie and Chris Hinton. They should have been playing. But instead, we take Ben Mason, a fullback, a junior fullback, and try to make him defensive tackle. And if he never really played, then I'd say, okay, well, they're not using fullbacks. They had to play him at they do. He's a hardworking kid. They put him at D tackle, but he was actually in the game last year playing defensive tackle. What is going on? Like, something ain't right, y'all. We've got 4- and 5-star players that play D tackle, highly touted, and you're playing a converted fullback. You just converted him in spring. That don't make sense, y'all. So we know something ain't right with that type of stuff. Let's see. Jelani Davidson says Clemson's defensive coordinators know how to beat Ohio State and Bama and win national championships. Jim Harbaugh should call Clemson's defensive coordinator. He needs to either call him or something. I don't expect him to be here after this year. So at this point, it don't even matter. You should have been did that. You should have made Don Brown reach out to some other defensive coordinators and learn how to run a zone, because that was laughable. That cover two they tried to run, we only run two defenses. I'm going to say it again. We only run two defenses. Man with the blitz and cover two. That cover two that they ran yesterday was a joke. Even the announcer said it. You're gonna run zone and not run it well? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do to you. Janelle, exactly. The broadcasters were laughing at the defense. That was embarrassing, y'all. Like, that game, as a Michigan fan, that was embarrassing. I don't care what nobody says. That was embarrassing. Especially on defense. That was embarrassing. We haven't lost to – let's put a little context to what's really happening. We haven't lost to Indiana since the 80s or since, what's it, the last 24 times. So it's not the 80s. The last 20, they haven't beat us in 24 attempts. I've never seen us lose to Indiana. That was my first time ever seeing us lose to Indiana, y'all. That was my first time. Oh, great. Thanks, Lulu. So Harbaugh is under contract till next year. Well, and this will show you how much the administration cares. Whether they fire him at the end of the season or if they let him continue, then they just don't really care, y'all. Because I saw Utah State's coach get fired yesterday. They went 0-3. They let him go. And we need to do the same. And I say that because we need to go on and fire Harbaugh now so we can see who we can get him in as soon as possible and try to save some recruits, save what we can from recruits and everything like that, and get the ball rolling as soon as possible. Ronnie Virgil, exactly. I've never seen it. I've never seen us lose to them. That's what I'm talking about. That's why people are mad. We've never, those of us who are 30 and young, 30 and like, I guess if you were in your 40s and you were a fan, you saw them lose to them. But that's still, think about how long that is. I'm in my 30s and I've never seen us lose to them. That means that's something that ain't supposed to happen. That's what that means. That's something that ain't supposed to happen. How many players have we moved out of their position? Quite a few. And most of the time, they don't do that well. Now, Haskins, he was a running back at first. Or was he a linebacker? Haskins looks like he's good, but who knows? Haskins might have been a better linebacker than he is even a running back. So we can't even take that for what it is. Brad Hawkins, he's not a good safety. I'm gonna stop saying he's okay. He ain't good. If you can't drop easy picks, and I say easy, meaning they hit your hands, you ain't no good safety. You're not good. You're not okay. You bad. Because when you don't make those plays, those are game-changing plays. That pick that he could have had earlier, that could have changed the game. I think Indiana scored on that drive. The one late, Dax Hill was about to pick it, and who knows what he might have done with the ball. He might have picked it, and then took it to the house or put us in field goal position at least. Like you missing game-changing plays, and it's killing us. The O-line is horrible. 23 tails. That's a fact. We ran for 13 yards against Indiana. Let's get into that now. The running scheme is trash. I've been watching, and it is trash. I don't know what they're trying to do with this run up the middle. That's not our forte this year. Stop trying to do it. The thing that actually works are runs to the outside. Run to the outside. We want to run stretch plays, tosses, things like this. So you're running outside, but there still should be a cutback. So that gives the running back more than one option. We're trying to run up the middle, and the D line is penetrating so hard that it's like out of that pistol, as soon as he gets the ball, he running into the line like loss of 2, loss of 1, gain of nothing, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. You can't win. You can put Aaron Rodgers back there, 3rd and 15. The results ain't going to be much better. I'm sorry. That's just football. You can't consistently be in 3rd and long and think you're going to be successful. And what kills me is the first game we saw a lot of extensions of the running game with the quick screens and things like that. A lot of stuff in the flats. Not seeing it anymore. What happened to the jet sweeps? I didn't see any jet sweeps yesterday. Don't you think if you're going to constantly run this dude by here and do that stuff, you have to give it to him sometimes? And it works when we do it. So honestly, you can't run the spread and have these dudes constantly running by and not give it to them. That opens up the offense. That opens the offense up, man. Gaddis isn't calling a good game. He's not calling very good games. Like, he'll dial up some plays. I'm not saying he's as bad as Don Brown. He's okay. I'll say he's okay. Like, I'll say Gaddis is okay. But he's not putting – I feel bad for the running backs right now, y'all. I feel bad for a lot of these players on this team from what I'm seeing. And hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like. They free. Just okay. But yeah, I'm not seeing it. Like we run for a bunch of yards against Minnesota, but the next game, Joe has 50, 60 yards. Then Haskins has like 50, then 20. Like the consistent running game ain't there. Like, so what are you doing to make some semblance of a running game to help out your quarterback? You got a young first-time starter out there, and he has no help in the running game. None at all. And I seen some dudes on Facebook trying to talk about Shea Patterson beat Michigan State. Shea Patterson played on a team with probably 10 NFL players. This ain't that team. So Shea Patterson beat and Shea played well against them. I'm not gonna knock him. Shea played well against them, but they scored 10 points. If Michigan State scores 10, we beat them last week. So you can't go off of last year and all this type of stuff. It's obviously a different team. Shea beat them twice. One year they scored 7. The other year they scored 10. Give me a break. Eric All is terrible. JSJ. Eric All is terrible. And this goes back to Gaddis. If this man can't catch the ball, stop running plays for him. Stop playing him in passing downs. He's not reliable enough for you to even. I wouldn't even think of having game three, and you still dropping passes like that. Nah, bro, you got to sit down. You got to sit down. Kentrell Merity said Patterson's line all plays on Sundays and had NFL caliber receivers. Shea had it made, but he was trash. That's a fact. Now, he got it going at the end of the season, but, he played bad for most of last year. JSJ says all these scat backs as wideouts, and we don't get the ball in space one-on-one on the perimeter. Exactly. That's how you're supposed to use Giles, Sandersteele, and these dudes. Like Ronnie. That's how you're supposed to use. Shout out to Ronnie. That's heart. That's heart. Now the question is, why wasn't he the focal point? He should be the focal point on getting this dude open. He should be the focal point. Because Joe missed him once. Ronnie probably should have had about 200 yards yesterday. He probably should have had, I think he had 149. He should have had probably 220 or something and 3 TDs. But what's Ronnie, a junior now? That's the person you need to be relying on and scheming plays for. I'd like to see more of AJ Henney. I think he could be something serious if we get him the ball. However, you have to do it. I don't care how you get the ball to these dudes. Just find a way to get it to them. Exactly. Hennings, Corum, and Wilson need the ball in their hands in space. That's a fact. Brandon Nabba says, I would love to see just one audible call. That's a problem on offense and defense. I'm not seeing audibles barely at all. Like, okay, let's get out of this play, run this one. The running game is a problem. That's a big problem, though. Exactly. And JSJ talking about the play action. Our last drive, I think the last ditch effort. Why the hell did we run a play action? We've ran for 10, 15 yards, and you got the nerve to run a play action when we down 10? What are you doing? Why did you call that? That's just stupid. They don't care if you run the ball. You down 10, 13, whatever, with about 4 or 5 minutes left or 2 minutes left. What are you doing calling a play action? Come on. Ain't nobody biting on that. Rod Anderson says, I'm not watching another game live. I'll follow the score, and if we are showing signs of life, then I'll turn it on. I feel you, bro. If I didn't want to get on here and talk to y'all about the games, I probably wouldn't. I probably might not tune in, but I just don't want to miss anything. So, Appreciate the $10 super chat, 23 Tails. He says, start Andre Seldon, dude is a dog, and let him play man. The position coach probably haven't affected him yet. You might be right, bro. You might be right. And Shoop left. Shoop left the program. They say he's still on the staff, but he's working from home or something. Yeah, right. He probably saw what Don Brown is doing in these corners and said, I'm out of here. He doesn't want to listen and give these dudes help over the top or actually practice a zone scheme and cover two is a base is basic to me. I don't like to run cover two on the game because it's so basic. Like when I'm playing Madden, I don't like to run cover two. Only in certain situations. If I see a player going to the flat or something all the time. But cover two is basic. The corners drop out, act like they're playing man, then they let it release him to the safety. But there's a huge hole on the sideline. Up the sideline, there's a huge gap before the safety picks him up. So that's the weakness in between that hole right there. And you've seen Joe try to hit that pass a couple times. He hit it a couple times. Sometimes he didn't. But the middle of the field, after you get past the linebackers, there's nobody in the middle of the field. So if you can just keep your eyes to the outside, when somebody runs cover two, this is where the quarterback's eyes, where he either keeps the safety in the middle for a second longer and it hits that outside receiver, or he looks outside and makes the quarterback get the safety get there fast, go to the outside. He makes the safety go to the outside quicker, and then he hits that seam route. Because cover two, the middle of the field is open. Once you get past them linebackers, it's wide open. And we saw Penix take advantage of it. Like, it's a simplistic scheme. Even the cover two. So run cover three. I've been preaching for cover three for years now because that's a bend but don't break type defense. Yeah, you can get yards from 20 to 20, but now the holes in this zone so tight, you ain't got a chance unless you got a real quarterback. I'm talking about NFL type quarterback. You're not likely gonna score on it if everybody is on a string and knows what they're doing. And what boggles me is 2016, we ran a lot of zone. I'm not sure. We had to have somebody else on the staff coaching the defense up on zone because Don Brown looked like he don't have a doggone clue. Jake Lanarino, it's a young team. That's a fact. But the defensive line ain't young. No sacks. No sacks in 2 games. Let's see. Ross started for some years. What's the middle linebacker? His name splits. McGrone started all of last year. Dax played last year. Brad Hawkins played last year. The corners, Vincent Gray played last year, started some games last year. So ain't really no excuse for the defense to be that bad. And when you do see what your defense can and can't do, that's when you adjust. Just like LSU last year. They said the first few games, their defense was just getting torched. So they had to figure out, what can these guys do well and what don't they do well and adjust it to us so we can at least get the best out of the defense. It might not be a great defense, but let's just can we maximize the what we do have? We ain't doing that. We ain't maximizing what we do have. We making what we do have look even worse than it is. Jay Marion, I'm not sure if we can't give the backs carries because the offensive line they can't run block. They can't run block. Now, we're not really going deep in the playbook though. Also, it's just run up the middle most of the time. Like I haven't seen a toss. I haven't seen a stretch play. Like we're not really going deep in the playbook in the running game either. So That could be right. Maybe we should give them more carries, but different plays. It's like we calling the same play, same play, running our head into a brick wall. Ted Naha says Fickle don't want to go to Michigan. You Michigan fans can get that pipe dream out. I mean, would you rather be the head coach? Would you rather be the head coach of Michigan or Cincinnati? Like, come on. Come on. If you say Cincinnati, I know you're just not even thinking logically. Exactly. That young don't fly. Young don't. The only way we could say the offense is young. See, if you say the offense is young, I'll give it to you. The defense, no. A lot of them dudes started and played last year. Let's see. S702. It's not that we lost those dudes, and that hurts, of course. That hurts, of course. But it's not that we lost them, it's about the way we're losing. It's about jumping off sides 6-7 times in a game. That ain't about being young, and them dudes ain't young on that D line. The D line ain't young. The young dudes, they don't barely play them. Chris Hen, Mozzie Smith, them really a lot of the young dudes ain't playing. That D line ain't that young. That's just coaching. That's discipline. They don't got them dudes prepared. It's about the way we lose. We losing just making dumb mistakes. Like, come on. Like 6 times. Okay, the corners. Good position. Good position. Up, I still grab. I'm so scared that I'm beat. I'm going to grab regardless. Oh, thanks. You were in good position. Thanks. The ball was pretty much uncatchable. And you still grabbed and got a penalty. We just got off the field. But you had to grab. That's coaching. That's coaching. That's the corners. I feel so bad for these dudes because the man knows they're not. He's trying to do a trial by fire on our corners. And he ought to be ashamed for doing them boys like that. Like, I really do feel bad for the corners for what he's doing to them. Won't give him help over the top. You just continue to let these dudes get beat. Put a safety over the top. No, I'm just going to let him continue to get beat like a drum. And you know what happens when that skill position, playing corner, you have to be the cockiest person on the team. The most cocky and confident person on the team playing corner in playing man defense as a corner. Because you're going to get beat. You have to brush it right off because they're going to continue. You get beat once, they're going to come back at you. So you have to brush that play off. These dudes are getting beat so much that their confidence is just so shaken. That's why when you see them have good coverage, they still grab. They still, because their confidence is gone. Like you might, these dudes might never be the same after this year. Because you being so dumb and so stubborn in your scheme that you won't get these 2-man help. But you got their best interest? Come on. It don't make no sense. And you I can't be mad at if somebody say I don't even want to play for this dude no more. Why would I play for somebody that don't got my best interest? I'm trying to go to the NFL. This man ain't got my best interest. This man ain't trying to just want to run his scheme. He care about his scheme more than about me being great. More about the defense being great. He just want to run his scheme. Man, go on. Man, don't care about them corners out there. Man, get beat like a drum for 3 straight games, and you sitting here won't give him help over the top. That don't even make sense. And you care about these dudes? You don't care about them. You care about your scheme. That ain't no good coach. Ted Nahas, you don't have to be on here. This ain't for you. You an Ohio State fan. Why are you watching Michigan? We're not even good, and you still worried about us. Go watch some OSU stuff. Y'all be so worried about Michigan for no reason. Thank you, Lulu. Hey, it ain't no. I don't want to hear about this and that. You got your corners on the island when you know they gonna get beat, and you won't give them help. And you over on the sideline looking like you don't know what's going on. This is the 3rd game in a row, bro. You know what's going on. You just don't want to fix it. And he just wants to run his scheme. S702. He just wants to run his scheme. And Don just wants to show how good his scheme is when his scheme is out of date. And other teams, other offensive coordinators, they reading it like a book now. Like, that's my thing. Like, bro, you getting read like a book. Like, you have to help these dudes. Like, that's all. There's nothing else to say about it, bro. Like, give them help. Dax Hill over the top. Brad Hawkins over the top. Whoever you got at safety needs to be over the top of these dudes. Like, almost at all times. Like, it just don't make sense. You wanna I gotta keep some dudes in there to stop the run. It don't matter. When teams want to run on us, when we know they're running, we still can't stop them. But them just throwing it up, come on. Nobody wants to see that. Them just throwing it up. They mossing our dudes getting beat 5 yards, 6 yards straight off the line, double moves. Like, these dudes are putting on clinics against these wide receivers are putting on clinics against our cornerbacks, and you just won't give them help. Oh, I got it. They're running 4 wides. I'm going to have Dax Hill guard the slot receiver. That'll stop it. That's what you came up with. Have your best safety defend the slot receiver. That's what you came up with. Your best safety that you could put over the top. Come on, y'all. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. $23 tails. Brad Hawkins, he's bad. You're right. You're right about that. But it's time to it's time to get to tell these dudes mistakes aren't going to be tolerated. Not from seniors, not from juniors that's been on the team for 3 and 4 years. No, mistakes ain't gonna be tolerated from y'all. Young players are supposed to make mistakes. That's sad. Boy, Brad Hawkins, A dude like that, and he can't even sniff being the type of player like a Jordan Kovacs was. He can't even sniff that type of player that dude was. A walk-on. But you know the difference? Jordan Kovacs consistently got better every year. Consistently got better. See, Kentrell Murdy says, Ronnie, Joe is getting more confident every game. His mistakes are good for trial and error. That's true. Like the mistakes Joe is making, I've seen players like Vince Young and certain players, I've seen them go through growing pains, and then that next year they didn't do a lot of that stuff. I've seen, so, and that's why I say a young player like Joe, I can accept mistakes. Now, I want him to, of course, I hope that he plays lights out, but mistakes are expected from a young first-time starter. That's why when you watch the broadcast, you hear the broadcaster saying a lot of the times, he's a first-time starter, he's a first-year starter. Because in football, this isn't a video game. It's different. Practice and the game are different. Some people think practice, he didn't show it in practice. I bet Eric All looks unbelievable in practice. I bet he don't drop a pass in practice. But guess what? When them lights come on Saturday, it's the game. It's the game. So it's a big difference between practice and the game. JS just said they don't disguise anything. We got 3-4 max schemes on D, and they all different D-line alignments. It's all old. And I'm so tired of seeing these stupid defensive fronts with the three linemen over here, one over here, stick a safety or middle linebacker in here. Boy, he finna get bodied. That offensive lineman, see that dude standing in that gap, that huge gap? The gap is huge. You see him standing there, he licking his chops like I'm about to catch a body. Call first 48. But I don't blame that player. I blame Don Brown. Hit the like, y'all. It's 100 of y'all in here, 53 likes. Hit the like if you haven't hit the like. Yeah, if Joe had a running game, we seen what could happen if he had a running game. You got the Minnesota game. The offense looked good then. Joe could be a game manager and slowly get the offense to. You have to, first-time starters, a lot of first-time starter receivers, new offensive line. You want the quarterback to rely on the running game, and then he plays off of that. You don't ask him to do too much. But right now we need Joe to be Vince Young. Vince Young's last year, junior year. What's his name? Tim Tebow, one of his top years. We need legendary type. We need him to be legendary for us to even compete right now. Like Joe can't make any mistakes. He can't miss any throws. He can't try to throw it when he can run, because he might try to throw it to somebody and they might drop it. Oh, there goes fourth down. He can't make any mistakes. He can't miss no throws. Like he has to play perfect for us right now. And that's just not logical thinking that he's going to play perfect. Ross Hickson said, here's the question. How many players do you think will take advantage of this year not counting against their eligibility? hopefully a lot of our players that we need to come back. Like, because who do we Aiden and Quiddy, what they're gone? They're probably gone. They're probably gone. We need them. I hope Brad Hawkins don't. You gonna go to wherever you gonna go. But honestly, Brad Hawkins might actually make, well, I don't know. He pretty bad. I was going to say he might make an NFL team, but he pretty bad. But the thing is, the NFL is not going to ask him to do what Don Brown asked him to do. Like, the NFL is going to have him playing over the top most of the time. Have him playing deep. Like, Don Brown asked his corners and safeties to be NFL Pro Bowlers, and NFL Pro Bowlers can't even get away with the stuff he wants them to do. It's just his scheme. His scheme is just dumb. Like, for real. Like, it's dumb to me for you to go through all these years and not notice that certain teams with the talent expose you. Like, he act like he don't know. I'm not sure why Joe wasn't running the ball this game. The first two games, he had like 55 yards. He averaged probably 55 yards rushing. But yesterday, he didn't even try to run it. I didn't see any Reed stuff, which is dumb because he's huge. I didn't see any of that stuff. I'm not y'all. Your guess is as good as mine on some of this stuff, y'all. I'm lost. I think everybody's kind of lost at some of the stuff that we see. Brandon Abbott, boy, you speaking facts. 2016 was Harbaugh's best team, but he had hoax recruits. Honestly, Daniel, and this is my bad. This was my bad because honestly, I didn't realize this, and I realized it, but I didn't say it because I don't know. I was feeling us. I was feeling us a little too much. The worst team to play like when we played Ohio State and they just squeaked out beating Maryland. That's not good. When you play a rival, when you have to play a rival and they either lose or barely win the week before, it's not good for you because they're gonna be fixing everything and they're gonna try to be on point. Like they're focused now. Now they're focused. So it's better to have them blow out a team or to win and play well before you play a team like that, like a Michigan State or a rival, because they're going to be make sure to be focused. So when Michigan State beat us and nobody picked them and they were 25-point underdogs or whatever, and that was like their Super Bowl. So Iowa blowing them out, and my boy, he bets, and I told him, he was like, Michigan State, Iowa. I was like, I'd take Iowa because Michigan State, they act like they just won the Super Bowl last week. So Iowa plays good defense and is well coached. They probably gonna beat them. Now, I didn't know they were gonna smack them like that, but I figured that they would lose because they acted like they won the Super Bowl last week. (23) says Selden should have been playing and he shouldn't listen to that position coach. Who's the secondary coach? Isn't it Shoop? Jalen Perry ain't ready, Kentrell. I've seen Perry get in, and he don't look much better. Rod Anderson says Texas has a top 5 roster in the country and they lose to multiple unranked teams every year. I ain't sure about no top 5 roster, bro. Top 5 rosters pretty much year in, year out. Clemson, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia. Who's that 15? I wouldn't say Texas. Oklahoma. I'd say Oklahoma probably. Kenneth Joy says they put the brakes on the kid because the boy can run. I noticed it last year. I see you got it, Jacob. He said you don't lose to Ohio State damn near 15 years in a row and then sell me the Michigan global recruiting brand. That's slick true. Rod Anderson says they don't want Joe to get hurt running the ball. Well, if you don't want him to run the ball, you're not playing to win. Are we playing to win or we I don't play anything not to win. I'm out of shape right now as far as running, but when I play flag football and I'm still giving it everything I've got. I'm about to die out there, but I'm giving it everything I've got. I don't want to hear no saving Joe. I don't want him to get hurt. You must be more worried about Joe hurting somebody as big as he is. I don't like that type of stuff. We're not going to run him because he might get hurt. No, you need to run him because he's a starting quarterback. If you don't want him, you're worried about him getting hurt, he shouldn't be starting. You play the game to win, and we need him to run the ball. We have no running game. We need him to run. Just stupid. And you're probably right, though. You probably right with that, though. Because I did notice they weren't trying to run him, which is dumb since our running backs can't get any yards. It's sad. It's sad. Ohio, we can never sneak up on Ohio State. Beating us means too much to them. It means too much to them to beat us, so we'll never get a sneak where they're not on playing their best or something. That ain't gonna happen. Basically, pretty much, he says, does Michigan have trouble developing wide receivers? From the way it looks, we got a problem developing everybody. from the way it looks, everybody from secondary to linebackers, D line, looks like we have a problem developing everyone. Receivers, offensive linemen. Because when they go somewhere else, they look even better. That's the problem. Except now a dude like Tariq, he's just a bonehead. It looks like, and I like Tariq. Honestly, I was rooting for him since he came to Michigan, but he went to Texas and he's still looking like a bonehead. I thought it was maybe he just couldn't get it together at Michigan, but he goes to Texas and they say he was in the doghouse after week 1. So it ain't sometimes it's the player also. Issa Fromm says Milton isn't a fast running QB and he doesn't have good pocket presence. I wouldn't say his pocket presence isn't that good. Go back and watch some of those plays. that he made in the pocket, moving around in the pocket. I wouldn't say his pocket presence isn't good. It's pretty good. Now, last game, he admitted he got flustered because practice isn't the game. You don't get hit in practice. The quarterback doesn't get hit. Practice ain't the game. So when you in these big games, big time rivalry, it's different. It's different when the lights come on Saturday. It's different. Practice ain't the game. You got some dudes that look great in practice and look okay or average in the game. You got dudes that look okay or good in practice, and then they look great in the game. And then you just got your dudes that just a baller. They look good and in practice and the game. But everybody's not the same. Kenneth Joyce, they didn't let Shea run. Shea didn't run the ball for most of last year. Shea barely ran the ball last year. They did the same thing last year with Shea. They protected him. Up until Penn State, Shea was trash. He showed hard second half against Penn State. Then I think he looked like trash against Illinois. And then we played Michigan State, and he got it clicking. He shredded Indiana, and then he looked good, somewhat good against Ohio State. But Milton can run the ball. He's had 2 50-yard rushing games, which isn't great, but that's good production at quarterback. Yeah, he's built like Cam. He's definitely built like Cam. Cam is faster, though. Cam is faster than Joe, but he's built like him. Him getting hurt would be the last of my worries. I don't see how you can coach for a player not to get hurt unless your backup. And it don't even matter if you don't have a backup at all. But McNamara is there. Y'all said he was looking good. You got to play Joe and play him to win. That's running the read. That's Joe. If everybody looks covered and you got a lane, go get them yards, boy. Slide. He's a quarterback. He can slide. Coach him to slide. He don't have to try to run over dudes. He don't have to do that. He's a quarterback. He can slide. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Honestly, to hurt Joe, you're gonna have to hit him pretty hard. You're gonna have to hit him. He took a blindside hit and his arm got hit and he's still blindside. He's just huge. You're gonna have to be it's gonna be hard to hurt that dude. Jordan Sweeney, we not winning another game. You might be right. Let's look at the schedule real quick. Let me pull up the schedule. Okay. Wisconsin was supposed to be prime time. That might get canceled. Rutgers, we could lose to Rutgers. Our defense is so horrible, we could lose to them. Penn State, that we both look pretty bad right now. That's losable, though. Maryland, Louis, we can lose to them. And then Ohio State. Yeah, it's very possible we won't win another game. It's very possible. Jordan Sweeney says recruit hood dudes, go to them trenches. They ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. That's one thing they're not gonna do. I mean, we have a chance to beat most of the teams on our schedule, but it's just not likely. Like, the offense isn't coming out clicking early. And the problem is the other offenses come out clicking. And because they know what to do. Get some extra blockers back there. Hut, 1, 2, throw it up. Let's go. Gain of 40. 1, all sides. Throw it up. Got him. Pass interference. Let's go. Offsides again. Throw it up. Oh, didn't matter. He was offsides. Free play. 1, 2, throw it up. It ain't hard to beat a team where you can just throw it up. It's laughable. What's your game plan against Michigan? Well, make sure to have extra pass protection because I know Don Brown's going to blitz, but we're probably going to run some double moves and we're going to test their outside corners because they're on an island. It ain't hard to understand how to beat us. And the teams, they don't even need very good running games. They don't even need running games. I mean, Stevie Scott, he ended up inking out about 100, but he was, let's see, he was 24 carries for 97 yards, 4 yards a carry. That's good, but that ain't great for college. Let's see, what did Michigan State rush for against us? Michigan State maybe had 100 rushing yards. Their leading rusher had 55 yards. These teams, Don Brown's scheme and secondary, our secondary is so bad, these teams are beating us without a run game, without a real running game. Like, that ain't good. Nah, bro. David Johnson says, I think before you fire Harbaugh, you have to give him a chance and demand he replaces coordinators like Brian Kelly and ND. That ship is passed, bro. That ship is passed. Don Brown should have been fired 2 years ago. That ship done passed. Because if I can see, and certain analysts have talked about it over and over, that his man defense scheme gets exposed against good talent, then Harbaugh knows that. And he just likes him for some reason, probably because they're both super stubborn. He should have been fired last year after Ohio State for sure. And if you don't want to say Ohio State, then you could say against Alabama after that. For sure, he should have been fired then. Why? Because if you can't hold Ohio State under 60, how can we ever win the Big Ten? To win the Big Ten, you have to go through Ohio State. So if my defensive coordinator can't hold them below 60, why would I keep him? To win the Big Ten, you have to go through them. So why would I keep a defensive coordinator that can't keep them below 55 points? Come on. Why is he still on the staff? And he hasn't just been exposed by them. He's been exposed by Notre Dame a couple times. Indiana is actually the team that really exposed the crossing routes and all that. They exposed it, 2017 year? Or was that 2018? It was one of those years. And then Ohio State saw that and just went ham with it, just took it to another level, like, oh, looky. Got him. Got him. It's over for you, bro. It's over for you. We got you. We know what you do. Thank you, Indiana. Now we're going to show you what real superior talent can do with that scheme. Thank you, Indiana. Say goodnight, Don Brown. Oh. S7 says the athletic director is on his last year too, and he hasn't been extended either. Both Ward Manuel and Jim will get fired together after the season. He needs to go. And for people that care about money, like we're a top 5 brand. We're a top 5, top 6 brand every year. And we ain't won a championship in who knows how long. Someone that gets the whole picture would say, okay, if we're this high of a brand now, imagine if we win a championship. Imagine if we're going to the playoff year in and year out. We would be the #1 brand. That's way more money. I don't want just to be up top 5. Why wouldn't I want to get the most money every year? Damn fool. You just happy being top 6, top 7 in brand, sometimes top 5, when you could be #1 if you just get the football program where it should be, where it could be. All you got to do is get the right coaches. Get the right coaches. Basically pretty much says, on a positive note, Roman Wilson looks like he's going to be pretty good. We got some talent. Let's talk about who has some talent and what's Roman Wilson, Henning, them dudes look for real. Blake Corum, I was talking about him in the offseason. He's a stud. We got some studs. Like, we got some studs. We got some talent. Now, I want to see, it might be time to put somebody else at punt, because I'm not really seeing Giles. I'm not seeing Giles do enough for me. Like, we need explosive plays from all 3 phases. I might put Blake Corum back there or AJ Henning. I might put one of them back there at punt return, as long as they can field the punt. Matthew Trenhall says, do you think we start losing recruits because of our season? Probably. That's going to come with it. My thing is, especially in the secondary, if you were in the secondary, would you want to play for Don Brown? Like, even if you are a beast at corner, would you want to just play for him? No. Because if you are going against a bad matchup, he ain't gonna give you help. He gonna watch you sink. He gonna watch you sink. He gonna watch you get torched all game, like, and you drowning, and he just gonna look at you like, what you want me to do? Solve your problem with aggression. Solve your problem with aggression. Doggone corners out there drowning. Help us, Don Brown. Help us. Help, please. Solve your problems with aggression. Come on. "23 Stale says, I mean, honestly, I mean, I feel, bro, this ain't the year to just, I mean, hey, honestly, if y'all want McNamara, I mean, they can put him in. It wouldn't bother me. I mean, put him in, see what he can do. But I feel bad for the quarterbacks, honestly, because I feel bad for the corner. I mean, the quarterbacks. Honestly, you have no running game. You can't run block at all. The pass blocking is okay. It's okay. It's good sometimes. I'm not gonna front, but teams are blitzing us a lot now, and Gaddis doesn't have. He's not dialing up plays to beat the blitz. Like we're in third and long all the time, and they're not like it's hard to move the ball when you in third and long all the time. And put Cade McNamara, you put Cade out there. Eric All still can't catch a pass. Eric All still can't catch. But hey, I'm just kind of over it. You want Cade, you want to put Cade in there? Hey. But these are the types of years where a quarterback can get, like, you can break a quarterback mentally with this type of year with no running game and how things are going. "23 tails." Exactly. Third down, instead of having these running backs back there, extra tight end or running back there pass blocking, they're running in the flats and the blitz is coming. So Joe has to get rid of it fast. And Joe makes some plays that Cade probably just can't make. Like he threw a pass, I think it was a third down, and the defender was coming, and Joe stood in there 6'5", and it's just he makes some plays that not many people can make. But he missed some throws that a lot of dudes can make. So hey, I ain't finna argue with nobody over the Joe and the Cade, because honestly, it really don't matter to me that much. I just want somebody to be good. But honestly, the way we look, it almost don't matter who back there. Christine Thomas says Fickle would come for a multi-million-dollar raise. I just wonder if he'd be out for blood against OSU. You got something to say? I got my nephew here, y'all. He played a little college football. You got something to say?
Michigan needs some new corners.
He say we need new corners. He say we need new corners. Yeah, Blake. My thing is, like, at running back, if you got dudes that are what you say, Kendra Meredith says, sign his ass up. He threw. He don't like playing football no more. He threw. Yeah, but Blake Corum, a dude like that eats up yardage, makes guys miss. Oh, I got to give him the most carries, because if let's say we do get a run play that's blocked well, he's going to get the most yardage out of it. Like, I like Haskins, and Haskins got a little wiggle to him this year, but he's not fast. So if the blocking is good, and I see he did a little wiggle on a couple dudes, and he had an open field, but he's so slow that they instantly hawked him, like, where are you going? But like a dude like Blake, he gets in the open field, he's going to eat up some yardage if he gets caught. If you get behind him, I don't know if you're going to catch him. He gets 0 to 60 like instantly. St. Lawrence Joe ain't that